The night before National Day, after staying up for 3 nights in a row just to secure a ticket home, I finally managed to get one, only to find out that Michael had rescheduled it to the last day of the holiday. When I angrily questioned him, he brushed it off lightly and said there was nothing he could do. With Mid-Autumn Festival overlapping with National Day, Emily wants to spend Mid-Autumn with your dad. Just come back a few days later, let your dad keep her company. Emily Stone was my father's illegitimate daughter, and yet Michael had actually postponed the day we agreed to meet each other's parents, just so my dad could spend Mid-Autumn with her. Holding back my anger, I calmly asked, "You rescheduled my ticket, so what about meeting the parents?" Michael didn't care at all. "Emily wants to come to my place too. I'll take her first. You can come to my house on the last day of the holiday." After hanging up, I sent Ethan a message. "Do you want to get engaged?" He replied instantly, "Half an hour. I'll drive over to pick you up." While I was packing my luggage on the eve of National Day, my phone suddenly displayed a travel notification. I picked it up without thinking, glanced at the screen, and instantly felt all the blood drain from my body. The train ticket I booked for October 1st had been changed to October 6th. Who changed it? Furious, I called the railway hotline, only to be told that the rescheduling had been done from my own phone. My mind buzzed loudly. I suddenly remembered that yesterday during dinner, Michael had borrowed my phone to place our order. With trembling hands, I called Michael Green. "Michael, why was my ticket rescheduled? Did you accidentally click something wrong?" Even then, I was still holding on to a tiny sliver of hope. Michael and I had grown up together. In our senior year of high school, his grades weren't as good as mine, and he pushed himself relentlessly for a full year just so we could get into the same university. On the first day of school, because of a barefaced photo of me, I ended up on the school confession wall, and Michael spent the entire night commenting under every confession. "Sorry, Lily Stone is already taken." The whole school quickly learned that the campus beauty Lily Stone had a childhood sweetheart who had chased her from high school to college. Everyone thought we would eventually go from school uniforms to wedding gowns. During freshman military training, Michael confessed to me passionately in front of all the new students. By senior year, we agreed to meet each other's parents during the National Day holiday and get married after graduation. But now, faced with my question, Michael, my childhood sweetheart and boyfriend, said casually, "Oh, I'm the one who changed your ticket." "Why?" I asked, my voice shaking. "Didn't we agree to go home together during National Day to meet our parents?" Michael responded impatiently. "Emily's mom just passed away. She'll be all alone this Mid-Autumn Festival. She wants her dad with her too. Just come back a few days later. Let your dad spend more time with her." Emily Stone was my father's illegitimate daughter, and he had actually postponed our long-planned family meeting so my dad could spend Mid-Autumn with her. Swallowing my fury, I asked calmly, "You changed my ticket, then what about meeting your parents?" Michael replied indifferently, "Emily wants to visit my place. I've already agreed. I'll take her to my house for a few days. Meeting my parents isn't urgent. You can come on the last day of the holiday." My anger spiked so sharply I could barely breathe. "Michael Green, don't regret this." After hanging up, I texted Ethan Cole. "Do you want to get engaged?" He replied instantly, "Half an hour. I'll come pick you up." I collapsed weakly onto my dorm bed, staring at the large pile of gift boxes on my desk. I suddenly felt like a clown. To accompany Michael home to meet his parents, I stayed up for 3 whole nights just to secure 2 high-speed rail tickets. I even spent all the allowance I'd saved from 2 years of part-time jobs to buy expensive gifts for his parents and grandmother. I thought he was looking forward to meeting the parents just like I was, looking forward to the day we could make our relationship public. But I never expected that he really was bringing someone home to meet his parents, except that person wasn't me. It was my half-sister, my father's illegitimate daughter, Emily Stone. He clearly knew that Emily and I had never gotten along since we were kids. My dad, Robert Stone, came from nothing. Back then, he couldn't afford university, so to get my grandparents to pay his tuition, he did everything he could to pursue my mom and even volunteered to become a live-in son-in-law. Later, after graduating from college, he started his own business and became a boss. It wasn't long before he began secretly supporting his young female secretary. When that secretary showed up at our house, pregnant, demanding recognition, my mom was carrying me. She was so angry she went into premature labor and nearly died with me. Emily was born only 4 months after I was. When I was born, my dad was accompanying his secretary to her prenatal checkups at the hospital, and even my mom's C-section fee had to be paid by my grandfather. When Emily was born, my dad stayed by the secretary's side all night, and even booked her a luxury postnatal care center that cost $20,000 a month. I took my mother's last name Stone, while Emily took my father's last name Stone. From the very beginning, my dad was biased. The child support he sent us was strictly according to the court ruling, $1,280 a month, not a cent more. But for Emily, her monthly allowance alone was $50,000. Not to mention that she grew up in a luxurious villa, with a chauffeur and housekeepers, and attended an elite school that cost more than $50,000 a year. Michael said Emily was pitiful, that she had no family around during the holiday. But for the past 20+ years, hasn't my dad always been with her and her mother? Only this year, because our two families had finally agreed that we would meet each other's parents during the National Day holiday, and it happened to overlap with Mid-Autumn Festival, my father could not accompany Emily on that one day, and suddenly she was pitiful. And what about me? Weren't my mom and I the ones whose family was torn apart because of them? Weren't we the ones who lost a father? Am I not pitiful? The expensive tea I bought for Michael's uncle, the luxury skincare sets for his parents, and the health supplements for his grandmother, all sitting on my dorm desk, felt like they were mocking my wishful thinking. I was shaking with rage as I took quick photos of all the gift boxes and posted them on my social feed. Half-price sale on 3 sets of Mid-Autumn gift boxes. Perfect for elders or supervisors. Free same-city delivery. Because I listed them at half price, messages came in quickly from people wanting to buy them. Just then, 2 comments appeared under my post. Emily, in her sweet pretentious tone, tagged my dad. Dad, why is Lily selling second-hand items on her feed? Is her allowance not enough? Maybe you should send her some money? Then Michael scolded me. Lily Stone, just because I rescheduled your ticket so you come home a few days later, you're selling the Mid-Autumn gifts you bought for my parents? Seconds later, Michael called me. Lily, delete that post. If my parents see it, what will they think? Do you still want to meet them or not? My fury boiled over. Michael, you're taking someone else home to meet your parents. What exactly do you want me to go there for? To be your second choice? On the other end of the line, Michael fell silent for a moment, clearly guilty, before lowering his voice. Lily, you misunderstood. Michael said, Emily is just going to my place as a friend for 2 days. You're my girlfriend. I told you I'd stay with you for the rest of my life. Be good and delete that post. Don't let my parents see it. You know they already disapprove of you. I gripped my phone tightly, my voice trembling. So you also think your parents are right, don't you? Is it because my mom was useless, because she couldn't hold on to my dad, the promising man, that I, the daughter of the legitimate wife, don't get to live as well as his illegitimate daughter? Is it because my dad doesn't like me and favors Emily instead, that your parents think Emily is the one who can inherit my dad's money, and that makes her more suitable to be your fiancé? My words, spoken one by one, were like sharp knives that pierced through Michael's hidden thoughts. He exploded in anger. Lily Stone, if you insist on thinking this way, do you believe I won't actually take Emily home to meet my parents? I replied in a completely calm voice, Go ahead. The call ended abruptly. Moments later, Emily sent me a video. It was filmed at the imported grocery store Michael and I used to visit often. Back then, after I turned 18, my dad had completely cut off my child support. Michael felt bad that I couldn't afford much at the school cafeteria, so he'd always find excuses to take me to that store and buy me good food. Once, while we were shopping there, we accidentally ran into my dad with Emily and her mother. Their shopping cart was piled high with all of Emily's favorite imported snacks. Emily casually picked up a box of imported chocolates priced at over $600 per box, while I still had to carefully budget my $500 monthly allowance, unable to afford even one serving of meat at the cafeteria. That day, Michael held me tightly and swore, "Lily, one day I'll buy this entire store and make it serve only you. Emily and her home-wrecking mother won't ever step foot inside." His sweet words still echoed in my ears. Yet now, he was holding Emily's hand, laughing and chatting as they walked into the same store. Emily's sugary, fake voice came from my phone. "Sister, I'm going to Michael's house tomorrow as a guest, and I don't know what gifts to bring, so Michael brought me to this store. Don't be mad, okay?" My grip tightened on my phone, my face cold. I typed quickly, "I'm not mad, I'm used to it. After all, for you and your home-wrecking mom, even shot you've never tasted must smell sweet. You just love stealing other people's men, don't you?" Emily didn't respond. A minute later, Michael called me. "Lily Stone, why do you have to bully Emily? She's your sister too. I know you hate her mother for breaking up your parents' marriage, but her mother is gone now. The grudges of the older generation should end here. Emily is just a girl who just lost her mom. Can't you cut her some slack? If you keep acting so unreasonably and bullying her, I think I need to reconsider our engagement." My whole body shook with rage. "No need to reconsider, Michael, we're done." I hung up and with trembling hands blocked and deleted Michael's number and his WeChat. Just as I was about to block Emily too, her newest social post popped up on my feed. Several beautifully packaged imported gift boxes were stacked on the handle of a shopping cart. A man's hand overlapped with a woman's as they pushed the cart together. Her caption read, "First time visiting my boyfriend's parents, so nervous. Luckily my brother Michael helped me pick out gifts. Hope uncle and auntie will like them." I froze completely. My entire body felt like it had been plunged into ice. I finally understood. Michael could patiently accompany Emily through the aisles of a supermarket, help her pick out gifts, and assist her in choosing things that would please his parents. Yet the day I asked him what his parents liked, he snapped impatiently and told me to pick anything, since we were just going through the motions anyway. Right? Someone who no longer loves you will never take you seriously. Looking at the carefully chosen gifts on my desk, the ones I spent 2 years of savings on, I finally accepted the truth. The boy I grew up with. He died in the very year we were supposed to have our happy ending. My phone suddenly rang. It was the courier guy I had called to pick up the packages. He glanced at the beautifully wrapped gift sets on my desk and the torn greeting cards I'd thrown into the trash. He didn't say much, just tried to comfort me lightly. "Miss, did you fail to get a ticket home? It's okay. If you can't go back for National Day, you can still go back during winter break. Your family will always be there, right?" "They're not," I answered with a bitter smile as I handed him the gift boxes. After a moment of thought, I took out a container of washed fruit from my bag and offered it to him. The courier guy declined, but I pushed it forward with a small smile. "Take it, eat it, or give it to someone. It's fine either way." I'm allergic to mangoes. This box of fruit was prepared especially for Michael. He's careless and travels by high-speed rail all the time, so he gets dizzy easily. Every time we went home together, I would prepare the fruits he liked in advance. But now, it looked like these fruits wouldn't be needed anymore. Just after I sent the courier off, Ethan called. "I'm downstairs. Tell the dorm supervisor so I can come up and help carry your luggage." Warmth spread through my chest. "No need. I only have one suitcase. I can carry it myself." After so many years with Michael, every time we went home for break, he waited downstairs while I carried my own luggage down. I had already gotten used to it, but 2 minutes later, Ethan appeared at my dorm room door, accompanied by the dutiful dorm supervisor. When he saw me, he smiled. "I told the supervisor you're my girlfriend, and I'm here to take you to meet my family." The dorm supervisor looked at us and gave a warm, motherly smile. Then Ethan, as if performing a magic trick, produced a box of exquisite imported chocolates and handed them to her. "Ma'am, thank you. This is the engagement candy for Lily and me." According to school rules, dorm supervisors weren't allowed to accept students' gifts, but engagement candy was an exception. Ethan drove a low-profile gray Volvo, completely different from his usual flashy style. Seeing my confused expression, he smiled. "My grandfather is recuperating at the Retired Cadres Wellness Center." My parents are there too. Ethan was known as a mysterious figure at our university. Everyone said he came from a powerful political family with deep connections. I had never been to the famous wellness center in my life, and suddenly I felt nervous. Ethan, I said softly, could you take me to a mall first? He gave me a questioning look. My face flushed. It's my first time visiting your home. I can't show up empty-handed. Ethan chuckled and drove me to a small but high-end specialty supermarket, tucked away in an obscure corner of the city. I was puzzled, but he explained. My mom and her workplace often receive prepaid cards for this supermarket. She never uses them up, so we can buy things using those cards. It won't cost anything. A sudden warmth stunned my eyes. Feeling embarrassed, I turned my face toward the window. So he had known all along that I wasn't well off. After my mom divorced my dad, she returned to our hometown and helped my grandfather manage more than 10 acres of tea fields. A whole year of hard work only brought in a little over $10,000, and once fertilizer and labor costs were deducted, the remaining money was barely enough to pay for my college tuition. That's why during these past years in college, I've always worked part-time to help with expenses. I met Ethan during one of those part-time jobs. Back then, to save up money for Michael's birthday gift, I secretly worked at a bar behind his back. When a customer tried to force drinks on me and cornered me, Ethan was the one who pulled me out of that private room. Only later did I learn that the bar belonged to one of his wealthy friends. He didn't ask why I was working there. Instead, the next day, he recommended me a new part-time job. I always thought Ethan and I came from two different worlds. His family status was so high that even the Greens would have to show restraint around them. Michael's parents looked down on me, so how could the powerful Cole family accept me? But what I never expected was that someone as distant and unreachable as Ethan would one day confess his feelings to me. It happened after the first time Michael and I fought because of Emily. Emily was 1 year younger than us. I had no idea what she was thinking, insisting on applying to the same university as me. On the day of her enrollment, my dad called and told me to pick her up. I refused instantly. What right did he have to ask me to pick up his illegitimate daughter? I still remembered that when it was my turn to go to college, because there was no direct train from my hometown, my mom called my dad and asked him to arrange a driver to send me. What did he say back then? Lily is already 18. She's not a child anymore. She needs to learn independence. But now that his precious illegitimate daughter was going to college, suddenly she didn't need to be independent? That night, with red eyes, I told Michael everything. I thought he would take my side, draw a clear line from Emily at school, and show her where she stood. But the next day, at the freshman dorm building, I saw Michael standing downstairs with Emily, carrying her suitcase, and chatting happily with her. The moment our eyes met, Michael panicked. He immediately let go of Emily's suitcase and hurried toward me, awkwardly explaining, "Lily, Uncle Robert called me and asked me to pick up Emily. I thought, since he's your dad, I couldn't refuse. It would make things awkward." I didn't say anything. I just gave him one disappointed look and turned to leave. I thought Michael would be like he always was, dropping everything to chase after me. But that day, I waited for him at Lover's Hill, where we usually met from sunset until the sky turned pitch black. Michael never showed up. When I checked my phone, I accidentally saw Emily's latest social post. In a collage of 9 photos, my childhood sweetheart, my boyfriend, looked as if he had suddenly become her boyfriend. He was helping her fill her water bottle, recharge her cafeteria card, make her bed, fold her blanket, and hang her mosquito net. The comments were full of admiration and envy, praising Emily for finding such a considerate boyfriend. And even my biological father, the man who never looked at my posts, left a comment under hers. "Michael is a good kid. It's a pity he's matched with an unfilial daughter like Lily." Tears streamed uncontrollably down my face. With trembling hands, I sent Michael a message. "Let's break up." My last bar of battery died. Lover's Hill fell into complete darkness. Then, in that darkness, a faint light appeared in front of me. It was Ethan. He squatted down, gently patted my head, and let out a heavy sigh. "Lily Stone, does it really have to be him? Just because you grew up with him? You think he's the only one for you? Why don't you give me a chance instead?" My thoughts snapped back to the present. Looking at Ethan's profile as he carefully chose the gifts, I suddenly felt that maybe trying someone else wasn't such a bad idea after all. The silver-gray Volvo passed through a forest and finally arrived at the wellness retreat for retired cadres. There were security guards stationed at the entrance. Ethan's car drove all the way to a quiet red brick building. In the yard, an elderly man with a straight back was tending to potted plants. Ethan's mother was arranging fruit plates and mooncakes, and his father, the prominent figure who frequently appeared on TV news, was wearing an apron and protective sleeves, handling 2 stoves at once. One pot held braised chicken with chestnuts, and the other steamed king crabs. Ethan's grandfather and parents were surprisingly easy to get along with. No arrogance, no airs. When Grandpa heard that my family grew tea, he immediately invited me to taste his treasured tea leaves. Seeing us drinking tea, Ethan's father brought over a plate of freshly roasted candied chestnuts and nudged them at his son. "Don't just stand there like a block of wood. Hurry up, peel some chestnuts for your girlfriend. Make a good impression." Ethan's mother asked where my hometown was. I answered honestly, "Jinjai." Grandpa's hand paused mid-pour. "Jinjai, that's a great place, an old revolutionary area. Many of my old comrades were from there." "Right, I heard from Ethan that your grandfather was also in the army. What unit was he in? What's his name?" I shook my head. "I'm not sure what unit he served in. I only remember him telling me that he fought in the liberation of Luzhou. He lost a leg to an artillery blast and retired to return home. My grandfather's name is Liang Jichang." With a sudden clatter, Grandpa's teacup fell onto the carpet. "Liang Jichang? Was your grandfather's childhood nickname Yao Mei?" I stared at him in shock. "How do you know my grandfather's nickname? Not even my dad or Michael knew that." My grandfather had been frail since childhood, and to trick the king of hell into sparing him, according to old village custom, he was given a girl's nickname. But he hated being called that. He thought it wasn't manly and forbade others to mention it. Now, almost no one back home even remembered it. How could Ethan's grandfather possibly know? Grandpa didn't answer. His hands trembled as he grabbed his reading glasses from the table and put them on. He stared at me closely for a long moment, murmuring, "You look like him, so much like him. No wonder I felt so close to you the moment I saw you. You're Yao Mei's granddaughter, no wonder, no wonder." He wiped the corners of his eyes and clapped Ethan hard on the shoulder, laughing heartily. "Good job, kid. You really are the grandson of me, John Cole. You've got the same taste in choosing a partner." That was when I realized my grandfather and Ethan's grandfather had actually fought together in the liberation of Luzhou. Grandpa Cole smiled and said, "Back then, both your grandfather and I were injured. He lost a leg, and I lost an arm. Your grandfather was on the bed right next to mine. Later, when the troops moved north, I followed the main unit. Your grandfather wasn't so lucky, his leg couldn't be saved, so he went back home to farm tea." I smiled softly. "He didn't just grow tea. My grandpa raised bees, raised silkworms, planted pecans, chestnuts, and fragrant citrus on the mountain. He even grew mushrooms and sugarcane himself." Grandpa Cole immediately stood up. "Look at you two. This girl is already here meeting the family, and the rest of you are still standing around. Hurry and prepare more gifts for her. We also need to visit the girl's family, don't we?" Ethan's mother said with a smile, "Even an ugly son-in-law has to meet his mother-in-law at some point. It's time for Ethan to let the in-laws see him." On the second day at the Cole household, I found myself a little dizzy as I climbed into the military vehicle assigned to Grandpa Cole at the wellness retreat. We headed straight toward my hometown. My grandfather and Grandpa Cole hadn't seen each other in many years, and the moment they met, it was as if they had endless things to talk about. When my mom saw Ethan carrying large bags filled with all kinds of expensive gifts and heard Ethan's mother addressing her as in-law, she looked utterly confused and turned to me. "Lily, what's going on? You're not right for Michael." I gave her a bitter smile and didn't hide anything. "Michael brought Emily home to meet his parents." Just that one sentence, and my mom understood everything instantly. Her eyes reddened, and she quietly pulled me into her arms, gently patting my back the way she did when I was little. "It's okay. It's okay. There are plenty of men in the world. If this one doesn't work, we'll switch to another. This Ethan kid seems great, tall, strong, much more handsome than Michael. And his grandfather is your grandfather's old comrade. At least his family background is clear. Since it was still the National Day and Mid-Autumn holiday, and it was my first time visiting someone's home, my mom didn't want me to be embarrassed in front of future in-laws. So she thought for a moment and then called my dad. Robert Stone, Lily brought her boyfriend home. His parents are here too. Come over and meet them. On the other end of the phone, before my dad could answer, Emily suddenly gasped dramatically, her voice trembling with fake tears. Dad, is Lily finding someone to pretend to be her boyfriend because I'm visiting Michael's house? And what in-laws? Don't tell me she hired a background extra for $200 a day to act as her boyfriend's family. Why would she do something like that? I already said Michael and I are just friends. My dad paused, then spoke impatiently to my mom. The kid is messing around, and now you're messing around with her. What boyfriend? Everyone knows Lily and Michael grew up together. The families are about to arrange their engagement. Michael is right here with me. Where would Lily get a boyfriend? Michael's voice suddenly came through the phone. Lily Stone. What's the point of lying like this? Who doesn't know you're my girlfriend? We've been dating for 4 years. Besides me, where would you get another boyfriend? Come on. Stop making trouble. I already said, I'm just spending mid-autumn with Emily and Uncle Robert. Once it's over, I'll take you home to meet the parents. Isn't that enough? I took the phone from my mom, my voice cold as I cut him off. Michael Green, I already told you, we're done. I'm not going anywhere with you to meet anyone's parents, and whether I have a boyfriend or who he is has nothing to do with you. Michael snapped back angrily. Fine. You said it. Just don't regret it. Moments later, Emily posted a social update. The Green family's villa appeared in the background. Michael and Emily sat side by side, with my dad and Emily smiling across the table as they ate a reunion dinner together. Michael was patiently helping Emily crack crab legs. Emily's caption read, finally meeting the parents. Michael, clearly trying to provoke me, commented underneath, some people just don't have this kind of luck. Luck? Whoever wants that luck can have it. I casually gave their post a like and sincerely wished them well. Trash man, mistress's daughter, lock in each other forever, wishing you 100 years of harmony and may your family line end with you. The next second, Emily called me. I immediately blocked and deleted her. Then my dad called. I instinctively looked at my mom. She glared. What are you looking at me for? That old fool refused to meet your future in-laws. You still want a dad like that? I smiled. You're right, I don't. And I blocked and deleted my dad too. Ethan came over holding 2 long star-shaped gourds and knocked on the door carefully. Ma'am, why do these gourds look different from the ones we buy in the city? I don't even know how to peel them. My mom laughed and took him into the yard, teaching him how to peel the gourd skins and telling him to feed the peelings to the chickens. That evening, my mom slaughtered a big rooster she had raised for 2 years. It was our local custom, when a new son-in-law comes to the house for the first time, the family must serve him a big rooster. Thinking of the social post Emily had just uploaded, I took a family photo of my own and posted it. Finally, meeting the parents. Not long after, an unfamiliar number called me. Once I picked up, Michael's furious voice burst through the phone. Lily Stone. How could you be with Ethan? Do you even know what kind of family he comes from? A guy from such a high-ranking political family would never like someone like you. He's just playing with you. Ethan heard it and looked at me with a wounded expression. Lily, he's slandering me. I quickly patted his arm to comfort him, then said coldly to Michael, I know Ethan better than you ever will, and no matter what, he never took another woman home to meet his parents while dating me. Michael, stop calling me. Everything between us ended the moment you brought Emily home. After I hung up, Michael went crazy. He kept switching numbers and called both me and my mom non-stop. I was so annoyed that I simply switched both our phones to airplane mode. Because Grandpa Cole wasn't in good health, both families discussed it and decided to hold the engagement banquet in Capital City. The next morning, our whole family boarded first class. Just as I was about to get on the plane, my high school classmate Kevin Chen texted me. Lily, where are you? You're not home. Michael came looking for you. He said your phone's unreachable, and he's so anxious he's about to call the police. I pretended to be surprised. Didn't Michael tell you? We broke up ages ago. As for where I am, I'm meeting my boyfriend's parents. His parents invited my whole family to Capital City for a visit. Okay, I'm getting on the plane. Tell Michael this for me. A good ex should act like he's dead. He needs to stop bothering me. Unable to reach me anywhere, Michael must have bought new SIM cards because he kept switching numbers to text me. Lily Stone. Throwing a tantrum has limits. I admit it was wrong of me to reschedule your train ticket and let Uncle Robert spend mid-autumn with Emily. I didn't consider your feelings. I'm apologizing, okay? But even if I was wrong, doesn't that mean you were wrong too? We've been together for so many years, and you break up with me over something so small? What will my parents think of you? You know they already disapprove of you. If you keep acting like this, they'll never accept us being together. Lily, you don't seriously think Ethan will marry you, right? Don't joke around. Do you even know what kind of family the Coles come from? That kind of elite political family. How could a high-ranking political family ever accept a girl from a divorced household as their daughter-in-law? Lily Stone, fine, you win. I give up. I'll tell Emily to leave my house right now. Where are you? I'll pick you up. We can go meet my parents today, okay? He sent message after message. I blocked one number, and he switched to another. Eventually, even Ethan couldn't stand it anymore. Less than half an hour after making a single phone call, a brand new phone was delivered to me. Lily, you don't mind switching to a new number, right? I shook my head, pulled out my old SIM card, snapped it clean in half, and tossed it into the trash. Garbage ex-boyfriends belong with garbage. October 6th. Originally, the day Michael and I were supposed to meet each other's parents became the day Ethan and I got engaged. Somehow, Michael found out the hotel we were using and showed up uninvited. When he saw me wearing a traditional-style dress, standing beside Ethan, his eyes immediately turned red. He rushed toward me, trying to grab my hand, but Ethan lifted his long leg and kicked him mercilessly across the floor. Michael! Emily shrieked, rushing over to help him up. Michael shoved her aside and stumbled toward me, eyes blazing, jabbing a finger at Ethan. Lily Stone, are you seriously throwing away 20 years of childhood love for a guy you've only known for a few days? I let out a cold laugh. Michael Green, you're the one who abandoned us first. Do you know how hard those train tickets were to get? I stayed up 3 nights in a row to buy them. And you? Just so my dad could spend mid-autumn with Emily. You secretly rescheduled my ticket without even telling me. If you didn't want me to go home, if you didn't want me to meet your parents, you could have just said it to my face. You said it yourself. We grew up together. You know better than anyone that I'm not the type to cling to someone who doesn't want me. Each word I spoke made Michael's face turn paler. And no, Lily, you misunderstood, he stammered. Why would I not take you to meet my parents? We agreed, after our parents met this national day, we'd get engaged. I just thought, you have everything, but Emily has nothing. I wanted to make it up to her before our engagement. I raised my hand to cut off his self-pitying speech. Michael, who you pity or who you want to make up to, is none of my concern. You don't need to explain anything to me. I'm about to get engaged. I don't want my future husband misunderstanding our relationship. Since we've broken up, it's better if we never contact each other again. Michael's eyes widened in disbelief. Lily, you can't do this to me. We promised we'd go home together for National Day and then get engaged. We were one step away from being together forever. Lily, I was wrong. Give me another chance, please. I swear, if you forgive me this time, I'll never get involved in anything related to Emily again. Emily grabbed Michael's arm, tears filling her eyes. Michael, how can you ignore me? I'm already carrying your child. Her words struck like a sudden explosion. Michael's face turned ghostly white. He snapped at her, voice cracking in horror. That's impossible. We only did it that one time. I even bought you morning after pills and you didn't take them. Emily blushed, gently touching her slightly rounded belly. Michael, this is your baby. How could I ever get rid of it? Michael lost his mind completely. He grabbed Emily's slender wrist tightly, his face twisted with rage. Get rid of it, Emily. I told you, I love your sister. The only woman I'll ever marry in this life is Lily. I won't marry you, and I won't take responsibility for that child. Shut up. Mr. and Mrs. Green rushed in at that moment. Mr. Green slapped Michael hard across the face while Mrs. Green shielded Emily protectively. My dad also arrived, demanding that Michael give him an explanation. "Michael Green?" my dad roared. "Either you marry Emily right now, or I'm calling the police. You knocked up my precious daughter, and you still want to force her to get an abortion? Do you really think your Green family can cover the sky with one hand? If you don't give me a satisfactory answer today, we're settling this at the police station." Mr. and Mrs. Green had never liked me. They had always hoped Emily could replace me and marry Michael instead. Now that they heard Emily was pregnant with Michael's child, they immediately pounded their chests with enthusiasm. "Don't worry, Mr. Stone. If Michael dares mistreat Emily, we'll break his legs." My dad nodded in satisfaction, but when he turned toward me, his expression carried a hint of guilt. "Lily, I know you and Michael grew up together, and we agreed that you two would get engaged this mid-autumn festival. But you just heard it, your sister is already carrying his child. Since you and Michael aren't engaged yet, you should give way to your sister." "Stop." I raised my hand and cut him off. "Mr. Stone, I'm an only child. My mom only gave birth to me. How exactly did I suddenly get a sister?" My dad flushed with shame and anger. "Emily is just like you, she's also my biological daughter. Why wouldn't she count as your sister?" I curled my lips. "She's just the illegitimate daughter of your mistress." "You." My dad lifted his arm, ready to strike me. Before he could touch me, my grandfather stepped in front of me, his eyes icy cold. "Robert Stone, try laying a finger on Lily, I dare you." My dad looked my grandfather up and down with contempt. "Liang Jichan, don't think that just because you spent a little money sending me to college you can boss me around. You're just an old man farming tea in the countryside. What can you possibly do to me?" Suddenly, Grandpa Cole strode over. "Liang Jichan can't do anything to you? Then what about me?" He waved his hand, and several plainclothes armed officers immediately stepped forward and restrained both my dad and Michael. Ethan's father approached, staring coldly at my dad. "Robert Stone from Horizon Media, isn't it? I've heard about you. I heard you've been whining and dining people everywhere to push your company's IPO, giving out private shares to bribe government officials, manipulating stock prices, leeching money from investors. I'll have people investigate these matters thoroughly." When my dad saw Ethan's father, a cold sweat broke out on his forehead. "See, Chairman Cole, what are you doing here?" Mr. Cole laughed. "This is my son's engagement banquet. Why wouldn't I be here?" My dad froze in shock. He looked at Mr. Cole, then at Ethan, and finally turned to me, eyes wide with disbelief. "Lily, why didn't you tell me? Your fiancé is the son of Chairman Cole. Why didn't you tell Dad something this big?" I let out a mocking laugh. "Didn't my mom already call you and invite you to come? You're the one who said you didn't want me or my mom bothering you, that the people I brought were all trash." Seeing the icy expression on Ethan's father's face, my dad's legs trembled uncontrollably. Emily glanced at the humble tea-house-style banquet behind us and screamed, grabbing onto my dad. "Dad, don't fall for it. What chairman? What retired official? They're all lying. Dad, think, if Ethan's father were really a top government leader, why would their engagement banquet be so cheap and small? I don't even see 3 full tables of guests. They must all be actors Lily hired." "Shut up." My dad slapped Emily hard across the face. "What the hell do you know? Of course Chairman Cole has to lead by example in his position." He immediately turned obsequious and fawning toward Ethan's father. "Chairman Cole, sir, I fully understand the rules. Officials' children aren't allowed to host extravagant weddings. As parents, we completely support that. I was deceived by this unfilial daughter. If I'd known Lily's fiancé was your son, how could I, as her father, ever miss her engagement banquet?" Saying that, he shoved Emily aside and grabbed my hand, trying to drag me inside. Behind us, Emily let out a shrill, broken scream. "Dad, you're abandoning me? You told me to seduce Michael. You said as long as I got pregnant with his child, you would help me marry into the Green family." Her words exploded like thunder above Michael's head. He lunged forward, his hands snapping around Emily's neck. "You bitch, you set me up." Emily laughed hysterically. "Set you up? Michael, Did I force your hand onto Lily's ticket and make you change it? Did I put a knife to your throat and force you to sleep with me? You were the one desperate to take me home to meet your parents, but now that Lily doesn't want you anymore and she's marrying someone else, you regret it? Let me tell you, dream on. If you dare not marry me, I'll tell the police you raped me in front of everyone. Michael and Emily began fighting violently. With a wave of Ethan's hand, hidden bodyguards rushed out and dragged both families away. The next time I heard news about Michael and Emily was from a public police report. Enraged that she had trapped him and caused our breakup, Michael beat Emily so badly in public that she miscarried. She hemorrhaged massively and had to have her uterus removed. When she woke up, the first thing she did was report him to the police for rape and intentional injury. To keep their son out of prison, Mr. and Mrs. Green had no choice but to force Michael to marry Emily. But this time, Emily was no longer the perfect daughter-in-law they used to praise. After our engagement banquet, the Green couple secretly investigated and discovered that my grandfather wasn't some countryside farmer. They learned he had been a decorated war veteran, while most of his comrades were now powerful retired officials. Realizing they had thrown away a daughter-in-law with a background like mine, over an illegitimate daughter with no standing, the Green couple regretted it so deeply they could barely breathe. And since they couldn't bring themselves to blame their precious son, they poured all their rage onto Emily. After the marriage, Emily thought she was finally going to live the glamorous life of a wealthy wife. But Mr. and Mrs. Green despised her for losing her uterus and being unable to carry on the Green bloodline. They even arranged a young, beautiful female assistant for Michael. When the assistant got pregnant, Emily stormed into the company in a rage, only to be slapped twice across the face by Michael. What right do you have to call her a homewrecker? Aren't you the one who became a wife by being a homewrecker first? But Michael Green didn't stay proud for long. Emily hated him for cheating, and hated him even more for making her lose the ability to ever be a mother. After she found evidence of the Green family's illegal business operations, she decisively reported them to the authorities. Once the investigation started, both Michael and his father were sent to prison. Emily stole the gold bars from the Green family's safe and was preparing to flee the country when Mrs. Green caught her. They struggled violently, and the two of them fell from the third floor. Mrs. Green's head struck the marble steps with a heavy crack. She died instantly. Emily's spine shattered, leaving her paralyzed from the neck down. She asked someone to call my dad, hoping he would take her home. But by then, my dad had his own troubles. After just one order from Ethan's father at our engagement banquet, my dad was arrested the very next day for bribing public officials, manipulating the stock market, and other crimes. Only then did he remember my mom and me. He wrote letter after letter, called non-stop, hoping we would ask Ethan's father to show mercy. But even if we helped, what about all the investors who had lost everything because of him? My dad never received an answer from us. In the end, he was sentenced to 18 years in prison. By then, we had already returned to our hometown, Jinjai. Our wedding, mine and Ethan's, was arranged with the full agreement of both families and was held at the Martyrs Memorial Cemetery. There was no lavish ceremony, no grand banquet. We donated all the wedding money to rebuild the old, cracked concrete road leading up to the memorial. On the wedding day, our flowers were the chrysanthemums laid across the entire cemetery, representing remembrance. Our guests were the fallen heroes, those who gave their lives for the new China. When it was time for toasting, Ethan and I carried wedding candy and wedding wine, walking past each tombstone. The path of happiness we walked today was one they had paved with their blood and sacrifice. Now it was our turn to pave a bright road for them. If their spirits still exist, they must be able to look down that new road from the mountainside and see the prosperity of the country they once fought for. As we descended the mountain, I thought I saw Michael in the crowd, hunched over, hiding, his eyes devouring me with greed. I didn't look back. I only tightened my grip on Ethan's hand. Michael Green, thank you. Thank you for letting me see your true nature before the engagement. Thank you for pushing someone as wonderful as Ethan into my life. Good night.